All right, guys, so welcome to our live event. I thought it was live, but it turns out we wasn't. So yeah, thank you guys for joining up. In this live event, we're going to be talking about work and healing. So apologize if I'm slightly late. I was just doing a live show for like 5 minutes. I checked whether you guys was on the stream, and the stream wasn't showing. So I'm glad I did that, because I would have just carried on and yeah, we wouldn't have gone live. So yeah, basically in this video we're going to be talking about work and development. If you're watching this live, then what you can do is ask any questions in the chat box on the right hand side, and at the end of the video I'll basically answer them. Ideally, if you do have a question on work and healing, then that's going to be good, because that's what the video is all about. But if you have got any type of question and you want to add it in there, then yeah, you can add it. And I'll got a few people commenting now. Sorry guys, I'm here now. I'm here. All right, so yeah, if you are watching this, then please make sure you signed up to our website on www.deephealingspace.com/sign up. The guys that are watching me live now, I've got the email that I send out pretty much every day, telling them what time I'm going to be on for the live event. So if you want to get involved, please sign up to the newsletter, and you will get a newsletter whenever we go live, and some amazing things coming up pretty soon, which I'm sure you'll all be very excited about. If you do like this channel, please share it, please like it, and don't forget to hit that bell button to be notified of any videos that we have uploaded onto the channel. All right, cool. So I'm excited about this video. I'm excited about this week, because work and healing and development is a big problem that people have on the program. It's a problem that I have struggled with over the years, and yeah, hopefully we can delve into some interesting areas on this topic in the coming days. But for this particular video, I just want to talk in general about work and healing, and I want to talk about some good sort of jobs to do, some good jobs to look out for, and some of the things you want to be thinking about when you're looking for work and healing. So the first thing I would say is that healing is the most important part of this whole process. If you do work that is too taxing or too challenging on the body, I can guarantee you now that your healing will definitely slow down. So it's so important to get the right type of work, or to get work that's not going to be hindering you too much on the program. I think for me and many others, when I first started the program, I was actually astounded by how sick I was, by how exhausted I was. The program removes often a lot of the stimulants that you have in your life, whether it be sugar, alcohol, cigarettes, anger, fear, you name it. The body can use these different things to stimulate the body and keep it going. So when you actually first start the program, you can remove all of these things, and the exhaustion that you get is actually quite unbelievable. However, the next thing that generally happens to people is they think to themselves, what am I going to do about work? What am I going to do about earning money? And which is extremely understandable. So the first thing I would say is, if you do have anyone in your life that can help you with this, if you have family that understand what you're going through, if you have parents that understand what you're going through, and they're willing to help you, they're willing to put a roof over your head, they're willing to pay for food, don't feel too guilty about that. Thank them for it. There is some people out there that their parents look after them, and all they're thinking about is work, all they're thinking about is job, all they're thinking about is money, when really what they should be thinking about is healing. So don't feel too guilty if you have parents or you have other people that can help you while you're going through this. Sometimes you need to sit down with your parents or sit down with whoever you live with and basically tell them about what's going off, A lot of the time, this is a challenge for a lot of people because parents and people you live with don't understand. And, it was a challenge for me, definitely. But one of the things that I did do was I sat down with my parents at one point and basically written down everything. I written down, what I was like as a kid. I written down things that I've never told them before, like, smoking weed, and it gave me derealization. I written down my drug taking that my parents wasn't aware of. I written down what the doctors said. I written down what the psychologists said. I written down how I felt when I found Dr. Wilson's program. I written down what happened when I started his program. And I just basically said to my parents, look, I want you to just hear me out for 2 hours, for 1 hour, 2 hours. I don't want you to interrupt. I just need to tell you everything. And I just sat them down and just went through everything and how much this program has helped me, but at the same time, how damaged my body was. And how much work it's going to take for me to basically get out of it. And I think when I actually said that to my parents, they actually realized, oh, Lewis does have a problem. I can, and started to have more empathy towards me and started to understand me a lot more, and it wasn't so problematic to them when I was, maybe not finding a job too much and all that sort of stuff. But I did actually, I think I worked pretty much all the way throughout the program, which on one level slowed down my healing a little bit, but on another level, it built a lot of character. When you're going through this situation and you're having to find work, you're having to find money, you're having to do things that really challenging, as long as it's not too challenging and you can still heal, it definitely builds a lot of character. It definitely builds you up in a way that's indescribable. So don't worry too much if you do feel like you have to work. It definitely does help. It definitely does build character, and you just got to find the right job. So yeah, if you are following this, and you do want to ask some questions, please add it in the chat box, and we'll discuss that. Any questions about work and healing, that would be fantastic. So gonna go on to some of the things that you want to be looking at when you think about getting a job, thinking about working. So family-run jobs are pretty good because, family-run job, families are a little bit more lenient, I suppose, when you're going through a healing reaction. They, if you've explained to them at least what you've been going through, then they can have a bit of an understanding and give you a bit of leeway when you're sort of, eating your vegetables, or you're doing this, or you're cooking that. So I would say family-run jobs are an interesting thing to look out for. I would also say if you're looking for a job, look for a part-time job. Don't look for a full-time job. If you look for a full-time job, the chances of you healing is going to reduce drastically. So look for a part-time job. Look for a job that's not difficult to do. It might not be the glamorous job. It might not be a job that gets you really excited, but don't worry about that. Dr. Wilson says things like a bookkeeping job, it's a job that's mundane. I worked in a garden centre part-time, and that wasn't too bad. I was on my feet quite a lot, but it wasn't too bad. I wasn't around EMFs too much. I could take my time a little bit. I think I worked for a guy at one point putting up barriers part-time, which it was good money. It was hard work. Generally what I find with the physical job, it is hard work because you're obviously physical. But sometimes a mental job can be just as hard as a physical job, because the brain uses up so much nutrients and energy. I think it uses up like a third of nutrients, a third of energy, that having a really intense mental job, even though it's not physical, can sometimes be more of a challenge than the actual physical jobs. So look for maybe just working in a shop, working behind a cash register, jobs like that. I find a good jobs to have. My expertise is on computers, web design, marketing, social media management. I managed to heal while being a web designer. It is a really great job. I will not deny that. It's easy. It's great money. You're not really you're not taxing yourself out too much. But at the end of the day, I had skills for that. I could set up my computer. So if you have got a computer job, you can set up your computer whereby you're using a projector. So I've got a video on how to set up a computer and a projector at the same time. So you're not getting the EMFs, you're not getting the stimulant, the huge stimulants that you can get from computers. So if you are looking for a computer job, I would definitely say that do these sort of things to help mitigate the EMF sensitivity that you might be experiencing. So, if you do have any skills in web design or graphic design or anything like that, then I would definitely recommend looking into it, because it's a good job. It's a good job. I can't fault it. It's really, really helped me out. Then you can look at things like marketing. And I think one of the best jobs you can have if you are looking for a job, work from home, is social media management. Become a social media manager for people. So you basically run their Facebook campaign, run the Facebook posts, you run the Instagram posts, run the Twitter posts. The good thing about this job, it's not difficult to do. And you'll generally find that it's quite easy to learn as well. So if I just head over to, this is an excellent website. It's called Udemy, and you can sign up for online courses on here. So yeah, at the moment I've got some courses up here on stock trading and building online courses, but you can type in on here basically anything. So social media marketing, and these courses are literally like nothing, £10, £20, £30, £40, but the quality is quite astounding, to be honest. So yeah, if you just look at social media marketing, let's go down a little bit. So yeah, these are quite expensive, but in my opinion, they're probably worth the money. For £199, there's 23,000 people signed up to this. It's got a 4.4 star rating. So if you've got the money, and Instagram's an amazing place to start marketing. To learn social media marketing. Instagram, you can get a lot of money from that if you become sort of an entrepreneur. So what I would do is figure out if you want to work on computers, sign up to one of these courses. They are cheaper ones. So here we are, $29.99, social media marketing, Instagram marketing, social media management, Facebook ads. So yeah, I would definitely look into social media marketing and management, because you can charge like £200, £300, £400, £500 a month to basically just post stuff on for people's companies. So up here, there's all sorts of stuff: digital marketing, SEO. SEO is a bit more challenging. Branding, if you're a graphic designer. Public relations. You can also go in the categories here. So you might want to get into photography. Photography is a good business to be in. Wedding photography, you can earn £800 a day just taking pictures for people. So yeah, I would look at these things. Obviously, not everything's going to be for you. Health and fitness maybe is not for you. Maybe yoga. I don't know. You could do a bit of yoga, some calm yoga, some gentle yoga for people online. You might even be comfortable to start to become a practitioner, to learn to focus on childhood trauma healing, art therapy. You could do all these stuff online if you want to. Music. Can you play an instrument? Can you be a guitar teacher? Can you do piano? All these things, you can be surprised how easy it is to get into. Teaching. Can you be an English teacher, an online English teacher? You can probably, you can charge 20, 30, 40 pounds an hour and teach someone English. That's what I was going to do in Thailand until I ended up finding Robert Morgan, basically, and he allowed me to work on his retreat center, which was really good. But this is a great website to look through. Graphic design, you could get into logo design. all sorts of stuff, interior design, all sorts of stuff, personal development. So that would be one of my bits of advice. Also, these are sort of the websites that you can use to learn to become a master in something. But then there's other websites where you can actually find jobs. So we've got people per hour. So, on peopleperhour.com, people basically are looking for people to work for them, and it's all usually online. If you've got no skills on the computer, you've got no graphic design skills or web design skills, you can basically just do maybe copywriting, where you can write or data input. It's a boring job, but some people, they just want data put into a system, and they'll charge you they'll pay you like £10 an hour. You can be a writer for someone who does social search engine optimization, which is basically just about writing, and you can just write articles. If you've got good English, if you're a native English speaker, it's one of the best things you can do. So people per hour, if you want, go on search and then go on services. This is services. Search for freelancers. Search now. So people post on projects that people are looking for. So people looking for an SEO consultant. People looking for Photoshop. People looking for an accountant. People want an e-commerce website, digital TV advert, perfect cooking website. So you got to figure out what skills you've got, and have a look on these websites. You can change the project type, all this sort of stuff. You've also got Fiverr, which is a similar website to People Per Hour. You've also got Upwork.com. So all of these jobs, all of these places to find work, or you can also post your own jobs. So if you are really good at writing, you can post that out there that you're a writer. If you're really good at animating a logo, you can post that out there as a logo animator. So if I type in SEO in here, there'll be people who would have posted things that I can buy off them. So let's have a look. SEO. So yeah, if you put on there whatever you're good at, then you can pick these people and ask them to do work for you. So that's an idea. Other things, I think one thing that I would probably do personally, if I had to do this all again, was like delivery service. You can easily get a delivery job now for Amazon. You can easily get a delivery job now for Just Eat. What are the other ones? Deliveroo. And, you could, a local delivery service, local pizza shop. I mean, I don't think that's a bad job. I mean, you could just sit in your car, chill out, take your time. You don't need to rush around. You know what I mean? You can put on some nice music. You can listen to podcasts. It's not too taxing. And, it's not a glamour job, but it's just a job that keeps you going, And I think that's a great idea, personally. I think being a delivery driver, especially when you're healing and you've got a license, to drive, I think that's up there with one of the best things you could do, in my opinion. Even in COVID, the delivery driver jobs, they've gone through the roof because everyone's wanting deliveries. And then sort of the final thing I wanted to talk about is becoming an entrepreneur. And becoming an entrepreneur is, in my opinion, sort of the best job to have, because you work in your own time, you work when you want, how you want, where you want, but you've got to have a skill. I was lucky that I was a web designer and I could do graphic design, but you could learn a skill. I mean, I wouldn't bother learning really complex skills. I won't bother learning coding, for example, because by the time you become a really good coder, you're talking 3-4 years. But things like social media management is excellent. Writing, you don't really need to learn. And become an entrepreneur. You could look at Fiverr, you could look at SEO and get in touch with these people here on on things like Fiverr and people per hour, and send them a message. Say, look, I'm a writer. Can I work for you? You do SEO, you need a writer. Can I work for you? I charge X amount per hour. Even if you just don't charge much, even if you charge a little bit below the minimum wage, like, at the end of the day, if you're really sick, you gotta be grateful for that. Another important thing to do is sort of have faith. You need to pray. You need to speak to God. I've been in crazy situations before where I was like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to earn any money. I'm not going to be able to get a job. And then all of a sudden a job opportunity comes up, or I get money come from somewhere. Or, when I went to Thailand, when I was healing, I didn't have any money, and then 2 days before I left to get on a plane, and an old insurance claim came through for like a few grand. I was like, oh, this is just so coincidental. And then I went to Thailand. I ended up meeting Robert Morgan, and then he gave me a job. I mean, at the time I was really sick. I struggled, but I got through it, and I knew that was divine alignment. That was a divine alignment. So you gotta have faith. You gotta sort of pray. A really good book for keeping faith. I just recommended it on my Telegram group. Is a book called Jesus Calling, and it's basically a daily devotional where you can read. The passages just really get you connected to God and really get you connected to Jesus, and you know that He's there. You know that God's there. So that would be another thing I would definitely recommend. So yeah, that's basically it. The thing is with this sort of video is you can really delve in deep into certain aspects of it, but that would be my general consensus. This is not going to be easy. One, if you can get your parents, or you can get people can support you, do it. Do you know what I mean? Get all the support you can find. Secondly, if you are looking for a job, try and find a part-time job that's a bit mundane, that's a bit it's a bit boring maybe. I think a delivery driver job's brilliant. I think it's fantastic. The thing is with Just Eat, Deliveroo, all of these different delivery jobs, Amazon, is that I think it's called Amazon Flex, is that you can just work whenever you want. You want to go and earn some money for 2 hours, you just turn on the app, go and do some delivery jobs, and then you get like money. Yeah, it's not mega money, but who cares? Healing in the beginning is the most important. Then the next thing after that is probably a part-time job. We would talk about that. Becoming an entrepreneur. So it's more harder to become an entrepreneur because you got to basically set up your own business, and you've got to, find clients. But I generally find that when the clients start rolling in, it becomes a ball that just rolls itself. And for me in the beginning, becoming a web designer was hard. It was hard to find jobs. But word of mouth is the best thing to do. Word of mouth is the best way of marketing. And, I generally found that I was trying to run ads. I was trying to send flyers through the doors. The best way that I found jobs is just posting my jobs that I've completed, or posting my graphic design on Facebook. You know what I mean? You'll see a friend notices, oh, they might not want a job, but a friend of yours, one of their friends, commented on their Facebook status saying that they need a web designer. They end up tagging you in it, and that's how I've got constant web design jobs coming through. But interestingly, now I'm actually turning jobs down because I'm trying to move more into doing nutritional balancing more full time. But yeah, that would be my advice. But if you have any specific questions, add them in the comments box now, and I'm going to go through them. If you are tuning into this, then please, if you do want to do this live, then make sure you sign up on my website, www.deephealingspace.com/sign up. But yeah, let's have a look at some of the questions that we've got. Okay. All right, so no urgency for this one. In your video, do you have a short video explaining why it's important to detox? I think this is an interesting question because the mainstream medical community have no idea how toxic people are. Like, they are so out of touch with toxicity that it makes people think, well, why do you need to detox? Because no one talks about it. No one thinks you're toxic. But I can tell you now, the toxins that human beings have accumulated is absolutely phenomenal. The pollution has gone up 100 times. The EMF radiation has gone up a quadrillion times, and that's a fact. You've got off-gassing coming from materials. You've got aluminium cookware. You've got nickel in braces. You've got lead in paint. You know, you've got toxic chemicals from fabrics that you wear. The amount of toxins that people accumulate these days is absolutely phenomenal. It's unprecedented. We're in the most toxic part of human history ever. And when this body gets sick, when the body's under stress, and even if it's just running a day-to-day life, when people, the human being these days is so on the go constantly that the body doesn't have time to detox. So the detox pathways shut down, and this slow process of people feeling sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker. And they're feeling sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker because the adrenal glands are starting to function less, the liver's starting to function less, the thyroid gland's functioning less, and then you get an accumulation of toxins because the body isn't focusing on detoxification, it's focusing on just keeping itself going. So you get this accumulation of toxins, and then toxins begin to replace healthy minerals. So for example, if you're not taking in the amount of zinc that you need, and zinc is used up in stress, then cadmium replaces zinc. So then you've got, it's like putting a hexagonal tire on a car. It doesn't really do the job. And, then to switch out zinc, replace zinc for cadmium once cadmium's already in there, it's hard work. So detoxification is so important. Like, probably the most important thing, aside nutrition and resting. It's 100% so important to do. If you don't detoxify, the chances of you really permanently deeply healing is slim, very slim. Can you talk about the concept of having faith and trusting God even in the most turbulent of times, also recognizing everything that happens to us is a blessing, even though it's not initially easy to see? So, yeah, I mean, you got to look at life as a teaching platform. You got to look at life as there's going to be pain in life, and there's going to be times in life whereby the rug gets pulled under your feet. You think you know something, and then you realise you haven't. And pain comes. Pain is how you get taught, and pain is where God generally is. The more pain you're in, or the more difficult your situation is, the more you have faith in God, the more you try and speak to God, the more you will generally see God, because God realizes that he needs to be in that situation a lot because you're going through such a challenging time. At the end of the day, when you're experiencing extreme pain, having absolute undeniable faith in God is not an easy task. Even Dr. Wilson talks about this, even for practitioners. You know what I mean? Even now, when I go through a healing reaction, to have that faith that everything's going to be all right, it's challenging, because it's in that challenge where often God is forcing you, is putting you down a certain path, is putting you in a certain challenging situation. It might be a relationship breakup. Your world falls apart. Like, oh my God, I'm never going to meet anyone as good as that, and you just crumble. But in reality, the reason why you're going through this is because you was too attached to that person, or that person wasn't good for you, or that whatever the reason is, and you go through pain, and it's by going through it, even if you're not really focusing on God, but focusing on God helps you go through it quicker, because you get things that are going to help you through it. Then usually after a few months you look back on that situation and realize, oh man, I realised why I went through that situation. Nowadays, when I'm going through a pain, I think in the past I wanted to run away from pain, and I'm not saying now I run towards pain, but I accept pain as part of life, And I think when you accept that, it makes faith much easier, because you realize that it's difficult to grow without pain. The growing pains is probably is in our English language. It is difficult to grow without experiencing some sort of pain. So when you accept that pain is part of life, when you accept that, pleasure comes with pain sometimes, then it gets easier. But it reminds me of the Unilome logo. Let me try and get it up here. Unilome, I think it's called. So yeah, I quite like this picture. So this is the symbol. I'm not sure where it's from, but it's the symbol of enlightenment, so to speak, and it's the journey of enlightenment. So this is where you're born, down here, and then you go up sort of when you're a kid, and then you go down into the depths of pain. Down here is extreme pain, and you just think, oh my god, what is life all about? And then boom, something happens. You start the nutritional balancing program, someone comes into your life, you learn something, and then you go up, oh right, life isn't so bad after all. And then boom, you get hit by another bit of pain, which is not really as bad as the first one, but it's still pretty bad. And then you get over that pain, and then you go up, and then boom, you get hit by another bit of pain. But it's not really as intense as the last one, because you've learnt a lot of stuff, And then you go up to this level, boom, you get more pain, but it's not as intense as the other one because you've learnt more. And then boom, again and again and again and again, until you sort of enlightened yourself. And that point at the top there is just like pure consciousness. So I love this symbol. I think it's a great symbol of death and rebirth and pain. But yeah, if you want to learn more about that sort of stuff, then I would definitely recommend checking out A Hero's Journey. Joseph Campbell, I think it's called. If you've got Gaia TV, there's a great series on there about the hero's journey. But Joseph Campbell is one of the, I would definitely look into the hero's journey. It talks about, let's have a look at a better one. So yeah, so you live in the life, and then you get a call to adventure, and then you hit some pain. So you get pain, and you go into sort of the belly of the whale, and you face challenges and temptations. But in these periods of pain, you find a helper. You might find me. You might find a mentor that helps you through it, gives you some tips, and then you're really down in the pits of it, extreme pain. And then you get a revelation. This is the turn in the corner, and then you're transformed, and then you're sort of in atonement, and then you realize you sort of return back, and you've grown in that circle, and then you'll go through it again, basically. But this is the hero's journey. A lot of films have the hero's journey in it. Pretty sure the Lord of the Rings is basically based on the hero's journey. But yeah, I'd definitely go and check out some I think this is a better one. Go and check out some YouTube videos on it. So this is a status quo. You're just in normality, then a call to adventure. Yeah, crossing the threshold, trials, approach, the main ordeal, the breakup, the reward for learning, the flight upwards, the return, the resurrection, the resolution. So yeah, I love the hero's journey. Check it out. But everyone's going to experience it if they're on some sort of path of healing and development. All right, where are we? What else have we got? What do you think about the following? I take the supplements to do the detoxification procedures only at the weekends. Otherwise, I would not focus on working, studying because of the tiredness. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you've got to manage the detoxification, manage the healing. If you are in a job, if you are working, studying, you need some energy throughout the week, or it's really important, then it is a good idea to sort of just hold off for a little bit in the week and reduce the supplements. Yeah, I mean, it depends what situation you're in. Some things, like you got exams coming up, then obviously that's more important than others. Usually when you start a new job in the beginning, you don't want to really be going through healing reactions, but once you get used to the job and you settle into the job, then you feel comfortable. You feel like, people aren't watching you so much, and you can sort of go through a healing reaction and get through the day, and it's not too bad. How to build a business along with healing and development, because I have a good base of knowledge and some experiences, but follows is difficult. It really depends on the business that you're going to set up. That's the thing. It really depends on the business. I would probably check out the Udemy website, and check out that and find a course on the business that you're trying to set up. There'll be courses on how to set up a business, but I would probably just sign up for one of them and go through it. But it really does depend on the type of business. How do you deal with co-workers or potential employers who don't understand your lifestyle or actively promote activities / agendas that are against development? Well, I mean, a lot of employers are not going to understand your lifestyle, and at the end of the day, it's none of their business, in my opinion. When I had jobs in the past, if they want to question what I eat at lunchtime, that's up to them, but it's really none of their business, and it shouldn't really affect my work, so really that would be my answer on that. I mean, what if they've got a problem with your lifestyle or whatever, then they shouldn't really have a problem. It's got nothing to do with them, and if they do have a problem, maybe just don't speak about it too much. If your employer is actively promoting activities or agendas that are against development, then it depends. If they're just promoting it, and then you just don't have to accept it. But if you're constantly in situations whereby they're trying to get you to eat a certain way or do or whatever, then you need to just say to them. I mean, sometimes you could tell a little white lie and just say, look, I've got a severe allergy to whatever, gluten, or I'm a celiac. You might not be a celiac, or you might not be, but it's a good excuse, Sometimes I've said that stuff in the past just to stop people from questioning. I just say, look, I'm extremely gluten intolerant, and that a lot of people don't really understand gluten intolerance anyway. So that basically covers a lot of angles when it comes to stuff that you can't eat. But yeah, I generally find, what I've been in the past where my employer didn't really get what I was doing, but it didn't bother him too much. And then I had an employer that was really against some of my values and stuff, and I just learned not to say anything. No point in rubbing him up the wrong way when it's pointless. So yeah, that's what I would my advice. And then the final question about time management. I'm going to do an actual video on time management and stuff, so keep an eye out for that. I'll probably do that tomorrow. So yeah, that tomorrow's video is going to be about managing time and what I do and how I sort of manage my time and stuff in the day. All right, so what else? Let's have a look. Did Epstein kill himself? Oh, definitely not. Yeah, I don't know what's happened to Jeffrey Epstein. Maybe he's so rich and powerful. Maybe he's like he's been saved or something. I don't know. So anyway, I have a kitchen porter part-time job. My skin is in contact with dishwashing chemicals. Are they that harmful? It's not a huge deal because I can look at getting some good gloves. Yeah, I would get some gloves. I would get some long gloves that come up to your elbows if necessary. Yeah, dishwashing chemicals, they are quite harsh, and especially if you're in sort of a kitchen porter's job, they tend to use the commercial stuff. So I would try and get long gloves. Yeah, that would be my advice. I'm using the money from my part-time job to fund my nutrition so I can heal, so I can work towards learning digital marketing and getting some good. Yeah, that's good. I mean, everyone starts from somewhere. I didn't go straight into web development. I worked at a garden centre. It wasn't ideal, but there was old people. We were relaxed a lot of the time. Sometimes it was hard, but I was out in nature. I had some good sunlight, and I could do stuff that I could sit down maybe and do what I had planting the plants. I could sit down and stuff. That's what you got to do. You got to just find opportunities to just sit down, or if people are stood up and you can sit down, go and sit down. You know what I mean? I remember, whenever I'm in situations, I always used to find that if there was a chair available, I would just go and sit down at the chair, and I just knew every opportunity I could get to rest, I needed to do it. What kind of qualities work best to become a nutritional balancing practitioner? What kind of person would you recommend to do this sort of work? I mean, you got to be passionate about it for a start. I mean, if you're not passionate about becoming a health practitioner, don't do it, because you're constantly surrounded by, or you're constantly dealing with people that are sick. And if you're not passionate about it, then that's going to drain you. Luckily for me, I'm passionate about what I do, so when people come to me that are ill, I don't feel drained by it. You got to be a people person, I think, but I think you've also got to be sort of quite in tune with your own energy, because there are people out there that will take your energy, that are tend to be more energy vampires, and you've got to know where to draw the line with helping people but not giving your energy away too much, where people will end up taking it. So that would be my advice on that. But the good thing is, my personality, I draw certain people to me. Luke draws certain people to him. My demographic is mostly young guys and young girls. I think probably the older generation don't get drawn to me as much. That's not I do work with some older people, and we get along absolutely great. But I think the way that I market myself, the branding of our website, it has a certain vibe to it, and I kind of connect with certain people, and that's good, because the people that generally come to me are people that I get along with anyway. They've already seen me on YouTube. I'm not going to them, they're coming to me. So generally the people that get in touch with me, they're already 70% there. I noticed in the beginning when I was trying to find work as a practitioner, it's much more difficult because you're going to people, they've not come to you, so there's, figure out a way where people can come to you, and in my opinion, you've solved 50% of your problems. Whether you do YouTube videos or write articles or get up at events and speak, there's loads of different things you can do. I can't recall my dreams. Any tips? I generally find that if you want to recall your dreams, then make a conscious decision that I want to remember them. And usually if you wake up in the morning, you've probably just woke up from a dream, and then try and remember it straight away. But that generally gets better with time. Doing the pulling down exercise is definitely better, because it gets you more in contact with being in the present. The more in the present you are, the more present you are, the more likely you are to be able to remember stuff like that. So that would be my advice for that one, definitely. Oh, blue corn chips as well. Blue corn chips is great for dreams. So make sure you're on the blue corn chips hype. What's the deal with DPDR going away? I know it gets better with healing, but does it actually fully go away with nutritional balancing, or is it different for everyone? I mean, I've got rid of it. I've got rid of DPDR. That was a chronic thing for me. My personal belief is that if you dedicate yourself to the program, there's not many things. I mean, DPDR is usually toxicity. It's usually nutrition. It's usually adrenal fatigue and adrenal burnout. And I think all of them can be healed on the program. I mean, things that can't be healed on the program is sort of some disabilities, genetic factors, but I don't think any of that is related to DPDR. So in my opinion, if you dedicate yourself to the program, you will get better. All right, cool. So that's it for today. I understand it's a bit broad, so if you do want me to target down on specific things, on specific ideas for jobs, then write it in the comment section, and I'll get onto that on one of the next videos. All right, guys. Again, please, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, smash that like button, and I'll speak to you soon. Cool. If you do want to be in contact with these live events, then don't forget to sign up at www.deephealingspace.com /sign up. Someone's just added one last question. How long does it take to become a practitioner? Basically, you got to get in touch with Dr. Wilson. Type on Google Dr. L. Wilson becoming a practitioner. You'll find the page on how to become a practitioner. He'll send you the information with the podcasts, with the books that you need to read, and you'll get a multiple choice questionnaire. And basically, as quick as you can fill out the questions, the quicker you'll become a practitioner. So yeah, I'm gonna get in touch with the guy TJ at some point, man. I'm on it. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I shall speak to you soon. Bye bye.